far, everybody? That wasn't rhetorical. I actually want to know. How are you doing?
Great.
You good? Okay. Nice. Thank you. All right. Let's talk about smarter marketing strategies. So, we're going to say, or you're going to discover how to spend less but get better results. How many of you are spending a lot more on marketing now than you did, let's say, when you started practice? It's insane right now, isn't it? It's kind of crazy. So what I want to do, my goal is to always simplify some of this because it can be quite overwhelming. So here are the challenges. In case you're not painfully aware of these already, the choice is out of control. I'm actually originally from Chicago, and there are a lot of nose guys there. And also, there are too many media channels. We all know, those of us who are on the more mature side, we grew up with those 3 TV stations. It was easy. We had one great magazine, 2 great newspapers, and 3 TV channels. Those were the simplified days, and now it's gotten out of control. So, what do? Well, what most surgeons do is just throw some more money at this and hope it all works out. And what else can you do? You know, you're surgeons. You know what, I really feel for surgeons because you went to school forever to become a surgeon. You thought you had it made, right? You're going to open up private practice, you're good to go. But look what happened. Now you have to be an incredible marketer, an incredible businessman or woman, and it's just gotten complicated. So, I love this quote, and I live by this personally. The key to success is not doing more. It's doing more of what works. Isn't that the truth? Half of the things we do are not making an impact. So, we want to keep that in mind because you can't waste any more time and money. So here's what I suggest. Always follow your successes first. Just in your head, follow the money. Just follow the money. Sometimes it's too complicated and you're making this too difficult. If you can simplify by following the money, your life will be easier. For example, I sure hope you're using, I know a lot of you have to use EMRs. I hate EMRs as a business consultant. You can't get a darn report out of it to save your life. They're so complicated because it was complicated to get the data in, it's complicated to get the data out. So it's not my first choice. I like good old real business softwares, but like a CRM. But if you're capable of pulling a report called Revenues by Surgical Procedures, there's some of the answers. The answers are always in the numbers. So for example, I just pulled a certain practice and the surgeon told me he lives off of rhinoplasties. He loves Rhino, that's where he makes all his money. But the data showed that his facelift revenues were better and more, and he had a nice chunk of left as well. And he just kind of, in his head, he just wanted to be the Rhino guy, and he was not realizing that the money was not exactly what he thought it was. I love to take the emotion out of the numbers and look at the numbers. They're solid. So for example, once you know something like that, now we'll talk about good old marketing 101. Here's good old marketing 101. The 3 M's of smart marketing are the market, the message, and the media used to talk to that market. So who's your preferred patient? If you follow the numbers, those numbers told us it was a facelift patient. And it's not that you don't want to do both, but you want to budget proportionately to the results you're getting from the numbers. So although you might love rhinoplasty, maybe in this case, your preferred patient turns out to be the facelift patient. Just think about it. Please look at your numbers before you decide where you're going to spend your time, money, and effort. So let's say we pick the facelift patient. Well, what's the message for that patient? Think about the maturing patient, maturing/aging patient. So the message to them would be, tired of looking old and tired? Hello. How to turn back the clock and look younger? Or just be direct about it. Want to look younger? Yes I do. So what I find is oftentimes you're so busy talking about you. Right now, the patient today who is busy herself or himself, all they want is, what can you do for me today? What do you got? What can help me? You know that what's in it for me is so true. So if you say to a mature aging patient, want to look younger? Yeah. All right. Let's say we're going to go to the mature patient. Now we've got to choose the media to be used. You can use all of these. I'm just saying a smarter marketing tactic is to try to figure out where that particular patient goes to get their information. So for example, definitely they would check out your website, little SEO, PPC, they like articles and blogs. Now this older patient loves fundraisers, they still like print ads, and Facebook ads are kind of getting there. I guarantee you they're not on Snapchat. So you wouldn't put your efforts there because they're not there. They're at practice newsletters, TV ads, direct mail. By the way, direct mail, there's still some life to that. You have to do it right though. And then email and patient events. So do you see how we already chopped out half of what you were going to waste your money on had you put your money in all of this? What happens is you then dilute your efforts and then you're not talking to anybody because you're missing half the people. So here's an example of smart marketing. Let's say, for example, you want to go after the Asian woman wanting a facelift. I just did facelift because I think it's going to be all Rhino all day, so I just thought I would switch it up a little bit. Because I think some of you are also doing face. So here's an Asian woman, she wants a facelift. So what does she do? Well, she goes online. And for this case, I'm going to go with PPC. I'm not sure, you know how Google changed everything and you used to be able to tell they were ads? And you could tell because they were in like gray boxes. Well, in today's world, they have made that a lot more less transparent. Now you're not sure. So let's say the woman, she just goes online, she Googles Faceless San Francisco, because I happen to be in San Francisco. Well, what happens is she's going to get some results like this. Let me just say, you can't use the word renowned anymore because everybody uses the word renowned. You have to go to the thesaurus and find another word for renowned. So that's just one hint. Look at the bottom. And so here it was, face plus lift equals top rated surgeon, voted 17, top facelift surgeon. The problem with putting the date up is now what, you weren't voted in 18 or 19, you know? So you have to watch that because the patient's saying things like that. Oh, you were great in 17, but you're not good now. Facelift surgeon, 5-star surgeon. See how everyone's trying to come up with different words? You're not allowed to say you're the best, so you have to get around that somehow. But look what happened. Look at the last one. Asian faceless surgeon. He couldn't help himself. World renowned. But specializing in Asian facelifts, Asian plastic surgery. If there's an Asian patient and they want a facelift, and you're talking right to that patient. Do you see how much smarter that is than saying, I'm brilliant at facelifts? But here's where it goes sideways. When you clicked on that ad, you go to this landing page, and we've got facelift surgery, and nowhere in here are we seeing a facelift Asian patient, are we? The closest they come is that little half Asian person who's about 20 years old. You know, it's really offensive. I would just tell you, as a maturing patient, that's offensive to me. For God's sake, a 20-year-old is not even facelift. So put somebody on there, like I personally would go with actual patients who are of the right age. And couldn't they have found an Asian video? Like, why would you use a white woman there? That doesn't, it just is so incongruent. In today's world, people want what they want in the order they want it, and you're messing with them here because we're off to a good start. Asian woman, they do Asian surgery, boom. Now, what happened? Do you see how there's an incongruency there? But here's what would have been better. But I found this from somebody else, so I couldn't put it together. This was somebody else's website. So they had a much better idea. They stuck to it. The Asian facelift. They said case number 52. Quite frankly, it would have been better to say case number 252. You know, have a lot more. This was actually the only photo on that website, so I'm not sure what was up with that, but you want a lot of face before and after photos. It's a big deal. Any facial rejuvenation or facial enhancement, it's a big deal. So I would use as much social proof as humanly possible. So the point is, extreme target marketing in today's world is the way to go. Pick one. And I don't mean put all your efforts into one demographic. I mean, decide on, let's say, your top 3 demographics, your top 3 procedures. Start there. Put your money there, and then if things are rolling and it's good, then go off and open up another demographic and another procedure. The more you dilute this, the more you say marketing doesn't work. And I think it's because everyone's got you running around trying to be everywhere to everybody. And I think that's hurting the results that you're going for. And that's it. Yeah? Okay.